if my wife was to find a telephone number in my pocket,
you'd be a dead king.
Well, but the argument that is sure to come will not be about the telephone number. It'll be that my wife feels insecure. And a man, that defines my roles right there, to make my wife feel secure. Now, the greatest need of a man is respect. When she accuses me of that telephone number, I will feel disrespected. So, and the greatest...
Well, now, what is she supposed to do?
Ma'am?
What is she supposed to do?
Well, we can talk about it. Come, let's reason together.
Let's reason
We're going to always come back to
what are you doing with that phone number? I recognize that number. No.
That'd be an issue.
That would be an issue, wouldn't it?
But men and women have the basic needs. A woman's needs are security, inspiration, and adoration. If I can make my wife feel like she's the most beautiful woman in the world, she will not feel secure about anything. A man's needs are respect, motivation, and consolation. If my wife can console me and give me peace of mind, you know, when you leave the house, it's a jungle out there. And if I shouldn't have peace anywhere, it should at least be in my home.
Yeah.
So if I can give my wife that security and that adoration, and she can give me that respect and consolation, man, we have a happy and beautiful home.
Yes, you do.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, you do. And, you know, when two people work, I want to add this too. When two people work, it's good if you help each other.
Yes. Yes.
Because there's a lack of respect when one seems to do all the work and the other one just lays around.
Right.
And that is a lack of respect.
Well, that goes into the next chapter of roles and responsibilities.
Okay, let's go. No, I'm going to hold you up.
Okay.
I'll hold you up until we get back. We're going to go to a song, and then when we get back, we're going to talk about your role and your responsibility.
Okay, okay.
We'll be right back.
Look forward to it.
All right. Don't you love him? That's Don DeGreat of Strong Tower, and that man can sing. Oh, I've known him for many years, and he used to have a group called Strong Tower. Okay. But now he goes out on his own, and he is just awesome. I think he is. I don't know about y'all. So where were we? Where did I leave you off at?
We were talking about roles and responsibilities and how, you know, the dynamics of the family has changed. It used to be the husband went to work and the wife stayed home, and so the wife did most of the housework. But nowadays, the way the economics are, a lot of times both parents have to work. Both the husband and wife have to work. And that's altered our roles and responsibility, but it hasn't. The roles are still the same. Whether my wife makes more money than I do or not, my role is still as the husband of the house and the father of my children. My wife is still the mother and the wife. What we're confusing roles with tasks. And there's a difference between roles and tasks. My wife, again, has the task of a mother. The role of a mother and wife. I have the role of husband and father. Tasks are washing clothes, dusting, mopping.
Do you do
laundry.
any of that?
I do all of that. You ask my wife and she'll tell you I'll make clean.
Now that's a good husband.
And I'm from Southwest Louisiana, so I can cook some gumbo, etouffee, jambalaya. Yes, ma'am.
Louisiana?
That's right, deep Southwest.
We have friends that were here last week that were from Louisiana. We used to do a lot of things in Louisiana.
Okay.
And so.
And I know had some food, something to do with some food out there.
Well, they had a TV station. We used to help, but boy, I'll tell you what, those Louisiana beans were good.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Gumbo and all that kind of stuff, except I didn't like all the fish or the crawdads.
Oh, yeah.
But I know you do.
Okay.
Suck out the heads.
Got to.
Throw it away.
That's right.
But that's wonderful that you can do that. You're
Yes,
a
ma'am.
Louisiana boy.
That's
you
right.
should be able to do that.
I'm from Lafayette, Louisiana, and I've not met a man from Lafayette yet that could not cook. So again, but those are our tasks, not our roles.
Well, yeah, like a lot of guys grill.
That's
Chris, he grills. He loves he'll go out there at 5 o'clock in the morning. Can you imagine?
To get that
and
grill ready.
Get that grill going, and it's smoking. He smokes that meat.
That's right.
All day long, and it's just like the best meat ever.
Okay. Oh, that hickory.
So guys, come on, you can do some of that stuff.
Now, you brought something else up earlier, talking about people living together.
Yes.
And that's a big thing with roles, because if you think about it, when you're just living together, there's no covenant. You're playing house.
Yeah.
And the man wants to act like a husband and wants the benefits of a husband, but doesn't want the responsibilities of a husband. And the young lady, she wants the respect of the wife, and the benefits of a wife, but doesn't want to take on the responsibilities of a wife. We're in a covenant. Two nations coming together, we come into a covenant. Yes, ma'am.
That's perfect.
Yes, ma'am.
Because if kids would understand covenant, they wouldn't have sex before marriage.
Exactly. Exactly.
They would not. It's so important we teach that to our children, what covenant means. Well, we're going to take a little clip of you teaching.
Okay. Okay.
Where's this?
This is at Faith Outreach Christian Life Center, as a matter of fact.
Okay.
That's right.
Pastor Peoples, let's go to this clip.
Who spoke to the serpent? Eve. No, come on, sisters, bear witness. Who spoke to the serpent? Eve. Who listened to the serpent? Eve. Who was beguiled by the serpent or tricked by the serpent? Who ate of the fruit first? Who gave to their spouse? Who did God call? It's on you, brother. How do I know this? When my wife and I, we had our first baby. I remember you go to the hospital and you go to the desk. Who are you looking for? I'm looking for Cynthia Simpson. Oh, Cynthia Simpson is in 301. And then you go to the door. Oh, Cynthia Simpson, room 301. And then you go and you walk in, hey, girl, and Cynthia Simpson is laid out Queen Elizabeth style. And she laid out, and then you look at the menu, Cynthia Simpson. And then they come back with the meal. Who's this meal for? Cynthia Simpson. And then the baby come back, this is Cynthia Simpson's baby. That bill came to my house, Curly J. Simpson Jr. Brother, you are responsible. If you don't know, now you know. You can be mad at me if you want to. I'm just telling you what the books say. This is not Brother Simpson. This is the book. Is this making sense? So, brothers, you are held responsible and accountable by God himself. He put that mandate on you to be the head of your house. Again, we say something is out of order. The man is supposed to be the head. That does not denote position that he's above her, because he separated the waters from the waters. And there's no difference between the waters. There's a difference in the role and the responsibility of the waters.
And there you go. You have it. He's a great preacher. If you'd like to have him come and minister about marriage to your church, he is available. And you can hear it just there, how great he was. Well, you know, the problem is everybody likes to blame Eve, but it was him.
Adam was out of place.
He was out of place.
That's right. And that's what's part of our society. Most men are out of place. When Israel fell because of David, David was out of place.
He stayed home fooling around when the army went off.
That's right. The man is out of place.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So that has to get fixed.
It has to. We have to start with us first. God created Adam first, so Adam should be dealt with first.
And he was. He had to till the ground.
Exactly.
And so you don't want to have to work harder than you want. The blessings of the Lord maketh rich, and he adds no sorrow to it. Too often we have people call, pray for my finances, pray for my finances, but their life is a junk mess.
That's right.
You know, they're not living right. You're fooling around. And I bet you that's 90% of the time when there's trouble, there's fooling around.
Exactly. And you know, my son, he is 16 now, but when he was 7, he said, Daddy, I prayed to make an A on my spelling test, and I made an A. I said, what did you do after you prayed? He said, I studied. I said, exactly.
Right.
So we can pray for some things, but we have to have some natural application to go with it. That's right.
It doesn't just happen.
That's right.
And if you'll read the book, if you'll get into the book, it tells you all through there that everything that pertains to life and godliness is in this book.
That's right.
And you're not going to want to mess that. You got to get in the book. That's how you know how to live. We were talking about kids having sex today in school. They're passing out condoms.
Yes.
They're doing all kinds, and now they want to give the schoolgirl, high school girl, the
after morning birth something.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
We're putting a Band-Aid over a sickness and a disease, and it's not fixing anything. It's not fixing anything. It's like putting a patch on a tire that has 4 holes in it already. We need a new tire.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's right.
Something new and different.
Well, this word is it's always renewed every day.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So
I love it because every time you read it, you find something that you didn't know.
That's
and then, oh, let me see it. I'll go back here and, oh, that's so good. And then write it down. Don't you love that?
Go back to it.
It's a journey.
That's right. That's right.
Well, this book is a journey, and you're going to love it. It's called the Marriage Manual and Handbook. And you can call here and you can get it. It's a love gift of I have to look what they put this down at. Where is it?
I think she said
Oh, $15. I'm sorry. It's a love gift of $15. So you may want to get up and go to your phone. You've heard him speak. He's got such knowledge about how to live life with a wife or a husband. And so, and it's a manual. It's one that's a teaching manual. You can teach. Oh, here's one. Adultery is never the answer.
It's never the answer. It's never, but it's becoming an epidemic in our society. And what's even more perplexing is, you and I talked about it off the air, it's even more prevalent now for the young women are committing. And in the book, I talk about it, how it's easier for a woman to fall in the trap of an affair than it is for a man. We walk through the jungles differently. Men walk through the jungle knowing that there's some dangers, but they know what quicksand is. Women walk through the jungles knowing there are dangers, but they don't know what quicksand is. So they're walking in. By the time the quicksand gets up into their mouth, it's too late. We've already fallen into that trap. And we think we're missing something at home. I use Hosea and his wife as the example. Hosea's wife thought that she was missing something. And she had to go back to her husband Hosea because she realized what she was missing, it wasn't a need, it was a want. She was getting everything she needed, but maybe not everything she wanted. And that can always be fixed, but adultery is never the answer. It'll never fix your problems. No.
And it'll go with you all the rest of your marriage.
Yes.
You can say, I forgive you, but there's a trust broken. When there's adultery, there's a trust broken.
Yes.
And to try to cover up that trust, it's hard to trust that person again.
Yes.
And then you wonder. Well, we're going to go to a song. We'll be back. You get up and go to your phone. $15 love gift. You can have this. It may help your marriage, I promise you. Praise the Lord at all times. You know, if you would be praising the Lord, you wouldn't have time to think about the rest of this junk. So come on. Give me some more. Let's see, where did we leave off? Meeting of two nations.
The meeting of two nations, the art of effective communication. If you think about it, if you can talk to someone and they have a brother or a sister, they grew up in the same house, the same set of parents, went to the same school, probably slept in the same bed, they're going to have disagreements. But now you're going to have two totally different people from two different households, two different parents, two different sets of rules, and we expect them to agree on certain things. It's not going to happen. You have two nations coming together in a covenant. They both have their different cultures, they both have their different thoughts, ideologies, and ideas, and we have to come together and they become one flesh. And we have to have some effective communication to get through that.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, like you don't know it all.
You don't know it all. Your perspective may be your perspective, but that doesn't make it the truth.
Yes.
It's your perspective.
And the other thing I found that people need to listen to the other.
Yes.
You know, you think you may have it right, and it's all, and it's this, and it's that, and that's signed, sealed, and delivered.
That's right.
But it may not be that way.
You know, I looked up communication, and it says to transmit knowledge or to convey information in a satisfactory manner. Too many times we just want to convey knowledge. A man on an island can write a note and stick it in a bottle and throw it in the water, and he conveyed knowledge, but it wasn't satisfactorily transmitted.
No.
So as the different level of communication, too many times we just want to convey knowledge and not transmit information so it's satisfactorily received. And that's a big part of it.
It is.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of times what happens is when you're in that dating process.
Yes.
Oh, man, every word, you hang on to every word.
That's right.
And then now we're out of the dating, and I don't have time for you, just...
Now, you know, you brought up something profound. If people, when start dating, is about 15, 16, maybe a little younger, but that's when they start to drive also. And the last thing the parents usually teach them is how to drive. They don't teach them how to date. So when a young teenager is dating, they're teaching themselves, or their friends are teaching them how to date. And when something goes wrong, they hit a hard spot, what do? They leave that person and start dating someone else. Now, while you're married, it's no date someone else. You're divorced and you remarry. You just fall right back to where you used to be.
What you did.
Yes, ma'am.
You know, I taught my son how to date.
Okay.
I'll tell you how I taught him. His father and I had a divorce.
Okay.
Which is horrible. But anyways, he was going out one night with this girl. The first time he ever took this girl out. And so they said she had to be home at 11 o'clock.
Okay.
This is before he had the right to drive. So I was picking him up. I was 15. They were going to a school something, a school function. And then they met his father. And so his father took him out to eat. Well, it was 11:15. I am freaking because it's like 11:45. I haven't heard from them. I wonder where they are. And he had to be there by 11 o'clock, which is respect. So I made him take her into the house and repent to the father.
You taught him right.
Because if you don't do that, and so he, in his dating process, never came home late without calling me and saying, this is where I am, this is why I'm late.
Right.
And, make it right with the family.
Well, I'm the teen pastor at my church, and I was telling the young men one day, I say, a young man that cheats on his girlfriend, what he becomes? And they say, what, Brother Simpson? I say, a husband that cheats on their wife. You're creating a habit. And someone thought that was a little bit much, but I'm like, you have to teach your youth.
Yes.
Or they'll repeat the same mistakes. History repeats itself.
Well, this poor kid, because he's my first son, I put him through all kinds of stuff. When he was a little boy, we went to a Walmart opening. It has nothing to do with dating. We went to a Walmart opening, and they had all these toothpaste piled up like a pyramid. Well, he pulled that toothpaste out because just wanted to see, and it all toppled in my basket everywhere. So we made a big scene. Next thing I know, he had gone over and stole a candy bar, 3 candy bars. We get home, we had a split level house. He ran downstairs and threw something under the couch. So I looked to see what he threw under the couch, and it was 3 candy bars.
That we didn't pay for.
So I called them up, and in those days they had uniformed policemen. I said, I'm bringing my son back, and I want you to act like you're going to throw him in jail. I mean, with the handcuffs, everything.
Life's lessons.
And they did, scared him. He was crying. Now, some people may think that is a bad thing, but now he is manager of Walgreens, community manager, and you try to let somebody steal from you. You need a life lesson here. But you have to teach your kids from the time they're little. Don't say, oh, isn't that cute? He stole 3 candy bars. No. That is not cute.
Train up a child in the way that he should go. Yes, ma'am. And all too often, we're not training. We need to train in marriage. We need to train in finances. We need to train in, but we're not doing that. We're letting for the world to train our children.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
And if they're in school so many hours, and then they play so many hours, you only have them for a few hours.
That's right. That's right. We're letting the society train our children.
If you would take and have prayer every night with your children.
Yes.
If at night you would sit at the table and eat with your children and say, well, tell me about school today. Get that conversation. That helps with the marriage.
That's right.
It helps with all of it. Do you know that Jewish people have very little divorce? Why? Because